Richie, you want to add? Okay.
Expect to get cut a lot of slack. It's so hard, so many notes to play, but I don't. Because you picked it, and so you better play it. All right, and so you don't need any slack cut at all. So very good, very nice. You've got plenty of technique. You know what it's supposed to sound like, and you're doing it. You know, the last variation where you're playing all the notes with the melody, there's just no place to breathe, and I really thought you had it figured out, and then it just kind of one of those things, you just didn't have enough to finish it off, and that's just the joys of live performance. All right, but it was not a thing that detracted from everything else that you had done. Again, my suggestions are minuscule compared to what you did. The things that I would say. The first fermata that you come up to on the second line, Me personally, because it's the high note of the cadenza, instead of falling off of it to that bottom note, I would just be more corny. I'll hold it a lot longer, because that's sort of the idea of a cadenza is, look at me, and so don't overlook, the power of a long-held high note. Very Italian, all right, and and so just go ahead and do it. I love the pacing though of the other two cadenzas, and I really love the last ba-da-da-dee, that little corny little ending there. So that was great. It was good. On the melody, when you play the melody, just two things that I would suggest that you think about. One of them could be fairly major, one of them is very minor. Vibrato, when you play with vibrato, this is the only chance you get to play with vibrato on the piece because it's the only long notes you get to play. But vibrato to me, the way I think of vibrato, is not like that light switch on the wall where you turn it off, the lights go off, you turn it on, the lights come on. To me, vibrato is not like that. Vibrato is like a dimming switch, all right, where you start with no and then you bring it up and then you bring it back down, and then you can do all sorts of variations with a dimming switch that you don't have with that light switch. So I felt like the vibrato was kind of on all of the time, and I'd just love to hear a little bit more variety in it. That's a really artistic thing to ask. All right, but vibrato is a part of a really good soloist's tools, all right, to add variety to what they're doing. So just listen to the vibrato that you're playing with. It's a good vibrato. It's just too predictable for me, and so see if you can find some ways to slow it down, start it later, maybe not even use it at all on a note. Just so the listener's always going, wow, listen to that. All right? Again, you're a terrific player, and so that's a very advanced concept. The fermata in the theme, dee da dee da dee da dee ba dee da dee, up into that high, B flat. All right? Fermatas in music, to me, are like stop signs are to traffic. And what I mean by that is if you are driving your car and you see a stop sign ahead, you have to stop. But there is a correct way of stopping and there is an incorrect way of stopping. Okay? What is the correct way to bring your car to a stop at a stop sign? You what?
I do it when I feel the car pull back.
All right, so you gently apply pressure so that the car gradually comes to a stop. All right, what's the incorrect way of stopping at a stop sign?
Don't stop.
Stop.
Stop the brake. Put the brake down. Everybody does that. All right, and yes, and that's not a very graceful way. So what a fermata does in music is it stops the flow of the music, right? Because there it is. All of a sudden you're out of time. There. So you, as a soloist, can either bring the listener to a gradual stop, or you can bring them to a jerky stop. So what would bring a listener to a gradual stop musically? Slowing down into the stop sign. All right. Now it's not marked into the music to do that. The retard actually occurs after the fermata, but that doesn't make any sense because you've already slowed it down. All right. So I always tell students, think of that analogy, and you want to slow down a little bit into the fermata so the listener goes, oh, okay, I knew he was going to slow down, instead of going, wham, I just got whiplash. All right? So it's, again, a little tiny thing. You're a terrific player. I wish you were the last person to hear. I've got one more to hear, so it's going to be a tough act to follow.
Who on the list that was fun?
I know. It's been uncanny. Every day I've been here, the last person has been just so much fun to listen to. So that's terrific.
I wish I could do that.
Well, you were last on the